We're trying to do this problem here. We're trying to find the value of the determinant. Okay, so this is a little bit more of a challenging problem because we have a bigger matrix here. So I'm going to walk you all through the process. I'm going to show you how to do this two ways. I'm going to show you how to do this by hand, and then I'm going to show you how to do this on the calculator, okay? And I'm actually going to use my calculator app because I'm doing this on my iPad. So, excuse me, when we're finding the value of the determinant, the way we're going to do this is these two columns here, I'm going to rewrite them. So I'm going to put a 10, a -4, a 9, a 7, a -2, and a 3. I'm just going to rewrite those first two columns, okay? Now, the process in finding the determinant is we start going along the diagonals, okay? So let me see if I can get a pen that has a finer tip, because this one here is a big tip. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to go along this diagonal, and I'm going to multiply those numbers. So I'm going to do it like this, y'all. I'm going to put brackets, and I'm going to put 10 times -2 times 0, okay? Then I'm going to go along this diagonal, okay? So add 7 times 0 times 9, okay? And then I'm going to add along this diagonal right here, which is 9 times -4 times 3, okay? And then now we are going to subtract. And let me show you how I'm going to do the subtracting part. I'm now going to go along this diagonal. So that is 9 times -2 times 9, plus I'm now going to go along this diagonal, which is 3 times 0 times 10, okay? And then I'm going to go along this diagonal here, which is 0 times -4 times 7, okay? So now let's go ahead and see if we can do this calculation. So 10 times -2 times 0, that just goes away. That's going to give me 0. That's going to give me 0. So 9 times -4 times 3. Let's see. You grab my calculator right here. 9 times -4 times 3, -108. Okay. So this number here is a -108. Okay. Now I'm going to multiply these numbers here in the red. Let's see. So 9 times -2 times 9. So 9 times -2 times 9 is -162. Okay, so this gives me a -162. That's going to give me a 0, and that's going to give me a 0. So again, I want you to notice what I have. I have a -108 minus a -162. So minus and minus become plus. So let's see. -108 plus 162, 54. So the determinant here, y'all, is giving me the number 54. So this is how I do it by hand, okay? It's a little bit of a process, right? But that's how I do it by hand. Let me show you how I can do this on my calculator, okay? So let me just crop this picture a little bit. Boom. That's good enough. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this on my calculator, and I am going to enter this matrix in, okay? So let me show you how I'm going to do this on my calculator. So let me clear this out. So there's a matrix button on my calculator. I want you to notice right underneath the word math, or the math button, there's an X to the -1, and right above it, it says matrix. The way I get to that is I'm going to go second, matrix, okay? Now what I want to do is I want to edit my matrix. So I'm going to go to edit, and I'm going to pick the first one here. And by default, y'all, I think I had to enter in 3 rows and 3 columns, okay? So what I'm going to do, it's going to ask me, okay, what is the 1-1? The 1-1 is right now, I know there's a bunch of zeros, but it's the one in the upper left-hand corner. So it's asking me, what's the number in the upper left-hand? Well, the number in the upper left-hand corner is 10. So what I do is I'm going to enter a 10 in there. I'm going to hit enter. Oops, I did too many. Let me clear all that out. So let's clear that. Okay, math, oops. Second matrix. We're going to, let me see. Let's go to B, okay? That's not what I wanted to do. Sorry, guys. Let me edit matrix B. Here we go. So notice it's asking me how many columns do I have. So columns are, oops. these numbers right here. How many columns do we have? Well, we have 3 columns, and we also have 3 rows, okay? So I'm going to say I have 3 columns, enter. I have 3 rows, enter. Okay, so now let me see. For the for that matrix there, that number was 10. Okay, the next number I have, let me come, is 7 and then 9. So I'm going to enter 7 and then 9. Okay, and now I'm going to the 0. So I have -4, -2, and 0. -4, enter, -2, enter, 0, enter. Okay, and then for the third one, we have 9, 3, and 0. Okay. So 9, 3, and 0. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and quit this. So I'm going to go second quit. Okay, I want to get back to my matrix button. So I'm going to go second matrix, and I want to do some math on my matrix. And what I want to find is the determinant. So I'm going to select number 1. Okay, now our matrix was labeled matrix B. So I'm going to go back to my matrix button. I'm going to select B. I'm going to close those parentheses. And when I hit enter, I want you to notice that I came up with 54, which is the same number, you all, we got when we did it by hand. Okay? So you have a couple of options. If you want to do it manually, it's not that hard of a thing, right? It really doesn't take me a whole lot of time. But if you do want to save a minute or two, then you can definitely go with the calculator route. And y'all, again, I'm using that graphing calculator app on my iPad. This one's called Graphing Calc 83. If you have like a graphing calculator, maybe from high school or something, you could definitely use that. They all work the same way, right? This app here, y'all, since this is on my iPad, you can get on your iPhone or whatever. I think it was $5.99. If you go buy a calculator brand new, it's like $100. This is definitely worth it, you know? So anyway, I hope that helps. Okay, if y'all got questions, let me know.